Today I'm going to share with you my pre-preliminary favorites for Miss Universe 2023. I'm Dani, thanks for joining me today. If you'd like to support the channel, hit that super thanks button or join memberships to get access to exclusive content. Thank you so much. I really can't wait to talk about my faves in this episode. I decided to break down this episode into two categories. My semi-finalist placements, so ladies that I see making it at least there, and then I have a group of ladies that I can easily envision in a top 5 or a 3 or a 6 or however they're breaking things down this year. First we'll talk semi-finalists, then we'll talk about that top 5 cut. And of course, here we go in no particular order. Dominican Republic is obviously gorgeous. She studied film and theater in New York, and she does work as a professional model, obviously. She also loves poetry and working in her community. So I checked out her bio and I checked out her social media, and obviously she's really beautiful. Has a fantastic walk. Okay, like that is just all there. But I feel like she, in the moment, at least to me, is beautiful with no brand. There isn't something about her that's so specific about her advocacy or her personal brand that is standing out to me above the group. And at Miss Universe, it takes more than just being beautiful. So that's why I'm still putting her in my semi-finalist group though, because I feel that she has potential. Pakistan is gorgeous. She works with children with Down syndrome. I just don't know enough about her. She was crowned a bit later in the year. Her director also is quite new, and I just don't know much about her preparation, but she is really stunning, and I feel like she's such a great dark horse. I would love to learn more about her and see her place. I feel like this year's Miss El Salvador, that she is probably one of their strongest reps that I've seen them send in a while. I feel like she's really standing out. She's beautiful. She works with children. She teaches them how to surf. Love that. She's so natural. I haven't found that many clips of her walk to give me a better idea of how she would perform on stage, but overall she looks pretty good. So I'm putting her in my semi-finalist spot here. This is her country, and I feel like the crowd is really going to be cheering for her, and that could really affect her performance. South Africa is another powerhouse I have in my semi-finalist group for now. We haven't seen much yet. She's very intelligent. She's a Bachelor of Law, and her goal is to remove the gaps in the progress of women by introducing mentorship programs focused on business and leadership. Now we have to talk about her gown designer, because that's an important little detail in pageantry. So her designer this year is going to be Willette Designs Couture, and this is the designer who also created La Leila's preliminary and finals gown at Miss Supranational. And that preliminary gown for me is just an all-time favorite. Absolutely stunning. Honestly, I just wish she would have wore it to finals. It was so epic. So we know that South Africa puts a lot of preparation into their contestants, and she is beautiful, but beauty is abound at Miss Universe. So beauty is not enough, and I just don't feel like this year for South Africa that she's come across with a really strong brand. And I also feel like she's kind of hidden in the shadows. We're just like not hearing as much about her, unfortunately, because of her competition and the way it all worked out and how it works in South Africa. Natasha Joubert actually was crowned Miss South Africa, but since she already went to Miss Universe, Brioni, the first runner-up, she is the representative for South Africa this year at Miss Universe. And I feel like when that happens, if you don't get that big crown in your country, you just don't get as much press. And I feel like that's kind of what has happened to her. So we'll see. So I'm on the edge about South Africa in terms of that top 5 placement this year. India is a professional dancer. In fact, many people got to know her in her country because she was on a reality dance show. So I love this about her. She's so talented. She's so beautiful. She is self-made, and Indian women are just stunning. So she's on my edge this year though. I can't even quite articulate what it is, but I feel like she can easily make a semifinal. I'm just not positive about the top 5. I think just because I don't know as much about her. I would probably have to hear her more in interviews and see more on-stage performances, but I still love India. Canada is in my semi-finalist group. I loved her headshot this year. She's a very beautiful contestant. Canada placed last year at Miss Universe. They haven't had a winner since 2005, so it's been a little while. This year's queen works in corporate transportation, and she says she's most proud of her philanthropic work in life, but I'm not sure exactly what that is. I didn't see that clearly stated on her contestant bio on the app, so I don't know exactly what kind of philanthropic work that she does. I looked at her walk from her national competition. I think that in terms of performance, it's good, but you're gonna need a little bit more to stand out at Miss Universe, and I don't know what type of work she's been putting into her walk. Jamaica, for me, is more of a dark horse. She's somebody not as many people are talking about. She's so beautiful, and don't forget, Jamaica has had quite a few placements in the last decade, so look out for Jamaica. She has a good walk. I'm really surprised, though, by her headshot that they submitted, because I just felt like she had so many other images that were so much stronger that would really just make a better first impression. So I wish that would have been different, but regardless, I think she's stunning. She's also a doctor, and she advocates for girls' education and personal growth. Another thing that did concern me as well for Jamaica was just that I feel like she needed better everyday wardrobe. So if I'm seeing outfits like this, it makes me concerned about her evening gown and what she'll be bringing for the competition for that. Miss Venezuela. Venezuela was first runner-up last year. And for me, last year's Venezuela, I didn't really start paying a ton of attention to her until she actually got to Miss Universe, and I felt like she really picked up the pace. So that might be the case for this year's title holder. But until then, I have her in my semifinals group. I think she's beautiful. I love her styling. She works with children. I also really like this jumpsuit that she wore that was inspired by Stefania's gown, her Miss Universe winning gown, so that's really, really fun. And she's a Miss Venezuela, okay? She's gonna have great style. She's absolutely stunning and gorgeous, but you gotta have something a little extra that's gonna make you stand out. So I'm wondering, what is it about her that's gonna make her a little bit more different from the other contestants, because I haven't been able to pinpoint something that's really making her different from everybody else. Australia. Australia reminds me so much of Lauren Hutton, famous 1970s actress, really, really beautiful, such an iconic look. I feel like they look like they're related. Australia will be graduating with a degree in business marketing, and she works as a sports coach primarily for skiing and swimming, and she also works with children. So I really, really like this, the idea of a queen working with kids through sports. It seems like such an obvious thing, but I feel like we don't hear that talked about as much in terms of advocacies for our Miss Universe contestants, but I love the idea of it. Australia has a really, really natural look, and I love that about her. Great walk, style. So let's see what happens for Australia. My next queen might shock you a little bit to be in my semifinals, but that is Philippines. So Philippines, obviously a really, really big pageant powerhouse, but the reason that I have her here is because I'm just not sure about her stage performance. So a lot of people have talked about this at her national competition, that her walk could be improved. Now, she has been working on this walk. I haven't seen the most updated version of it, but as we saw last year, Philippines didn't place, and when I was there live and in person, the moment that I saw her walk out on stage, I was so excited for her. And then she came out, and I turned to my friend and I said, what happened to Philippines? Because the energy was not there. There was something, and I was worried in that moment, as much as I loved her and I was rooting for her, and then she didn't place. So no placements are guaranteed here, and I just think that there has to be such an emphasis on Philippines' walk and stage performance if she is to advance. A couple other fun facts about her though. Her mom was the youngest winner of Miss International in 1979. She was only 15. Obviously, you can't compete any longer at 15, so it seems like she will hold that record until eternity. So that's a really cool fun fact. Michelle herself, though, graduated with a degree in psychology. She's also an actress in the Philippines and an entrepreneur. She is also the president of the Inner Peace Foundation for Autism Acceptance. She has 2 siblings that are autistic. She's done a lot of work there. So I think she's an incredible title holder and a great representative for the Philippines. But I do think that regardless of all of that, there will still be enough great interviews in these types of competitions that if your stage performance isn't there, you might not make the cut. Spain. Okay, so Spain is fabulous. She speaks well on camera. I'm not sure if she speaks English. I don't know. She has been working on her walk with Giselle Reyes, who is from Venezuela, and she actually also coached Miss USA this year. So she has beautiful images, great styling, tall, statuesque. She is an advocate for racial integration. So there's a lot of really great things about Miss Spain this year. I personally love her. I can definitely see her in a semifinal. I just don't hear a lot of people talking about her. I'm not sure what that means in the overall competition and what that would mean. Because remember, our winners are not just chosen by judges, they're also chosen by members of the Miss Universe organization. So there's an element of business there. Slovakia, I am loving. Not only is she a model, but she's also studying fashion product management. She is going to soon release her second sustainable fashion collection, as well as now an accessories line. So she's not just beauty, she's brains. She has a great walk and incredible styling. She made a great first impression with me for her departures. She has one of my favorite images, and I think that she can be such a fantastic surprise. So I am rooting for her. She has one of my favorite images, and I think that she can be such a fantastic surprise. So I am rooting for her. Now let's move along to the ladies that I can see placing in a top 5. I feel like there is no scenario where she actually won her national title in 2022, but if you follow France, they kind of send their title holders at different years, and there's lots of stuff that happens and goes into that whole process. But she is here this year. For me, France has a star quality. At Miss France, you are not allowed to have any plastic surgery in order to compete in the pageant, so you can rest assured Miss France is always natural. She speaks at least 3 languages, English, Spanish, and French. She has been conducting interviews in all 3 languages. She is very, very friendly, very happy throughout the competition so far. She just seems so approachable, fun, friendly, and she's gorgeous. Absolutely gorgeous. And they have put so much into her preparation. She's had a lot of time. In France, she is a radio personality as well as a model, and this makes so much sense. I did a recap of her national pageant. Please go back and watch that as well if you want to see a little bit more and learn more about her. She had very charming on-stage answers. So we're talking about how when we look back at title holders like Brooke Lee and their answers that were like quick, witty, funny, charming, that's France this year. So look out for her. This is why I see her in at least my top 5 or that top 3. Thailand, another country that has just been kind of like right there every year. They're either in like a top 5 or they're like on the edge of the top 5, and I feel like they've been so close. They've sent so many great representatives. They are so well prepared. That's why I'm like, oh, I really, really want Thailand to have a winner soon. So this year's queen, though, is a former Miss Supranational. Okay? All right. She speaks Thai, she speaks English fluently, and she's also been showing up speaking Spanish. She left Thailand, did a little pit stop in Miami, did photo shoots, did a welcoming party, shows up in El Salvador days early, volunteers. She even had time to shoot an advertisement for Turkish Airlines. I don't know how she is handling all of this. I don't know if she just loves coffee or what's going on. God bless her. But she is working really, really hard. And remember earlier in the season, Anne said, be prepared to speak Spanish. And guess what? She has been making the effort. She's been speaking a little bit of Spanish here and there in her video content. And just so well prepared. I feel like no stone has been left unturned for her. I do think in terms of her onstage answer, she had a good onstage answer at her national pageant. Do I think it could be a little bit stronger? Yes. And what I mean by that is in terms of delivery, I think she needs to just look more confident when she delivers that answer. You can do it, girl. Just own what you're going to say on stage. A little more about her. She is an entrepreneur and she aspires to be a motivational speaker. She wants to use the Miss Universe title to direct attention to women's economic empowerment. She created the Little Steps program, which I assume has to do with women, finances, and economy. That would make a lot of sense. So she's great, and I love that mission as well. I think it's so important that we teach more and more young women how to self-sustain, how to be successful. I feel like a lot of people, they make it seem like it's a bad thing, like money is a bad thing, and they say, it's the root of all evil. And I'm like, no, I don't think money is. I think greed is probably the root of all evil if we really look at it, but money can do a lot of great things for yourself and for others around you if you use it in the right way. Nicaragua is gorgeous. She speaks English and Spanish. She has a great walk. She looks stunning everywhere that she goes. She has a unique look that I like. Her hairstyle is giving like late 90s, early 2000s, like short, very voluminous, like a long bob type of look. And she styles it in different ways. She speaks well on camera. She's a communications graduate. She started Understand Your Mind, a program for mental health. So she's just got so much going for her. She's gorgeous. She's tall. I don't think that you have to be tall to win Miss Universe. You really don't. If you look at the average height of title holders, people are always surprised, I feel like, at how small a lot of the winners are. And that's to encourage everybody out there. Just don't worry about your height. But it doesn't hurt to be tall, I feel like. It kind of helps you out in a lineup when you're really tall, and then judges are like, oh, you know, like they may give you a little extra look or a little extra notice. So she is stunning. I'm very excited about her. I just don't know as much about her as the other contestants. So regardless of that, she looks like a top contender. Colombia this year doesn't place. She's historic. She's married and she's a mother. She's also gorgeous. She is married and she is a wife. She would be a historic win, and there would be so much press around this. It would be so great for the Miss Universe organization. But on top of it, as many women are in Colombia, absolutely gorgeous, great walk though, great styling, public speaking abilities, has a great onstage answer, very confident. Just, she has everything. She has a few things that she works on in terms of advocacy. She provides mental health training, finance management, and entrepreneurship. These are all things that she greatly cares about, that she shares about on social media. She talked about this during her onstage answers at Miss Universe Colombia. She is going to be a tough one to beat, a really tough one to beat. So I see her in that top 5 or top 3 easily. USA. I feel like she is our best shot at a back-to-back. Honestly, this is how I felt from the time that she was competing at states in the US and she was getting first runner-up, and the moment that she won her state, I was like, and there's Miss USA. And I've been waiting for her to get to Miss USA, but now she felt and looked prepared. And that's what I appreciate. So it was all the timing for her. I'm glad for that timing. She really puts in the effort. And she looks fabulous all the time. She looks so prepared. And in the US, we just don't have the same type of support and preparation as women do in countries like Thailand or the Philippines. So a lot of it are our Miss USAs working and trying to build a team and financing things on their own. And it's not easy to do, to look prepared, to be competitive. So I'm proud of her for all of the work that she's put in. She looks fantastic. And she's also bilingual. And that seems to be what they're kind of looking for this year, a queen that can at least speak some Spanish. So she just is very well poised, I think, for a back-to-back, and it does not hurt that she's absolutely gorgeous. So she was very well styled at Miss USA. I expect nothing less than that at Miss Universe. She's also an advocate for immigration rights. She's a children's book author. She's also a licensed esthetician and an interior designer. I mean, what doesn't she do? She sounds like Barbie, right? Like Barbie does everything. And she is half Venezuelan. So if she were to win, it would be really smart, because I saw somebody put in the comments and I thought it was brilliant. And they said, if USA wins, it's a win in the books for USA and a win in the hearts for Venezuela. And I was like, oh, so well said. And I feel like that's exactly what Arbany was for the Philippines. And if we look at Miss Universe, you know, yes, it's a pageant, but business is also part of it. So if we were able to garner that support of Venezuela for the new Miss Universe, as well as the support from the United States, that would be huge. So it would be a really big win. And I feel like she's up for the challenge. Puerto Rico. I created an episode about Thailand versus Puerto Rico. And you really need to watch that episode, because I go into a lot more depth about why I love her so much and why she's one of my top picks. One thing that we see in Miss Universe, it's kind of like the girls that win, they're usually not from nowhere. It's like their country is heating up. That's kind of what happens. So you'll see like top 20 placements, the 10s, the consistent 5s, and then bam, you get a winner. And so they have the 3rd most amount of Miss Universe queens. So quite a competitive country. They have consistently been in that like top 5, top 3, and definitely placing in the past few years. So amazing preparation here. She was also first runner-up at Miss Supranational. Her stage performances, fantastic. Her strength, public speaking. This to me is an incredible year for onstage question. That's my guess. It's my prediction. So I can't wait to see her, but for me, she's easily in my top 5. Those are the ladies that are my pre-preliminary picks. Now, of course, things always change after preliminaries, and we're going to see what these ladies are bringing in, and I'll be watching and following along throughout the journey while the ladies are there as well. Maybe adding in some extra bonus episodes. If there's something else you want to see, comment below. Please let me know. But thank you for tuning into this episode. Please check out my other recent episodes of Miss Universe coverage. I greatly appreciate you joining me today, and I hope to see you very soon.